Fire up, and there it is. Welcome home, Bitcoin Truth Seekers. It's Friday, January 31st, 2020. It's 8:24 a.m. here in the Arizona desert. Long or die. If you're longing on Bitcoin today, you might be a little nervous, but I think it's looking all right. I think we're seeing a turnaround after some negative volatility. Let's start where we start. Tether into Bitcoin at 3.19 billion last 24 hours. That is massive. Tether into Ethereum, 1.56 billion. So we are still rocking as far as Tether into Bitcoin and Ethereum. And I'm glad to see Ethereum with that much that much Tether rolling in. Volume for Bitcoin last 24 hours is 829 million. Half of that, of course, 445 million of that was on Binance. So what are the Binance long and short crew thinking? 40% shorts, 59% longs. So you know where that sentiment is leaning. With that said, of course, there's some global nervousness. You've got India hoards face masks, Corona found in Russia, burning bodies in secret, allegedly. We don't know if that's true or not. And look at how it's affecting the United States. Alabama schools closed due to significant increase in flu cases, and I've been following this, and a lot of schools are doing this, and come on, nobody's sick. The truth is, parents are keeping their kids home to see which way this goes. Not a bad move, if you ask me. Schools in Hong Kong have been suspended until March 2nd due to Wuhan virus, so, globally there is some nervousness. I wish the Shanghai Composite Index was open right now. The truth is, I don't know when it opens. I have to figure that out today. It's closed, but it did close yesterday on a red candle. Gold is looking good, and Bitcoin, even though we have some sell-off, we have some volatility this morning, it's still strong. With that, let's look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. As you can see, definitely some turbulence there. A red candle today, and the MACD is definitely well in the red. The S&P 500. As we can see, red candle today. MACD definitely in the red. Let's look at the RUT, Russell 2000 Index. The little guys, definitely a red candle today. That's definitely been taking a hit. And the MACD is negative. So the markets globally are, a little nervous. You can see it. But so far that's been okay, actually positive for the crypto market. So on the weekly chart, as I've drawn the fib, I do see that we are above the .5 at 8,500. And now we're going to challenge the .382 at 9,700. In general, people do find support and resistance around these levels. So getting to 9,700 will be a bit of a task, but let's see if Bitcoin can do it. We have a positive MACD on the weekly. That is a wonderful bullish sign for Bitcoin. On the daily, we have a positive MACD, even if it's a bit sideways and not widening via the histogram as I would like to see. We do have a positive directional index, and the ADX is definitely above 25. So we're also, of course, as I already mentioned, above the 200 moving average. Red candle today so far, but I think that's turning around. On the 4-hour chart, you can see there was previous resistance at around 9,200 that we did get through, and now it's acting as support. We have wicked through it a few times recently, but as we have today. So let's see if we bounce off that. I think 9,200 is definitely an important bounce point. The DI is still, the directional index is still positive. As you can see, it's sloping off a bit, and the ADX is on the way down on the 4-hour chart. Looking at the 45-minute chart for immediate price action, the directional index sucks. The SAR indicator sucks. The RSI is actually in a very good spot to bounce though. And even though we've trended down some, we've had some sell-off. If we do look closely here, I think we are leveling out. The super guppy EMA ribbons here have not rolled completely red. So, and also we're not too far from this moving average here, which is the 8 moving average. You want to be basically close to that. If you're too far from it, you're going to get pulled back. So we are right about in the right spot to start to turn around. I think that's what I'm seeing. So let's see if that plays out. I think worst case today, if things really sucked, we could see a bounce off the 200 moving average at around 9,000. But I don't think we're going there. I think we're sideways and starting to build some upward momentum. Just look at the MACD. Look at the RSI. The one thing that does bother me is I never like to see this particular thing happening, where you see the price action for Bitcoin going down, and you see the ADX here going up. So basically, whenever you have a real downward swing, if these two are aiming at each other, basically, never a good sign. I don't like to see that. So Bitcoin does need to pull up before it crashes into the ground. But I think we're seeing that this morning. Let's see if that plays out. Like I say, right now is one of those times where you long or die. You might be a little nervous, but I think we're turning around. Look at Ethereum, USD. Ethereum was definitely pumping yesterday, looking wonderful. And of course it dumped along with Bitcoin, but it's already getting kind of sideways and I think about to turn around. So we shall see. Just to note, I know this is the Bitcoin daily view, but Ethereum is doing quite well. What I see in a lot of alts, here's DGD, Digital DAO, and something I'm seeing here is it pumped with Bitcoin and then it dumped. But this white moving average here is a 200 moving average. This is a 45-minute chart, and it did break below it, but it's beginning to, I think, turn around. So indecisive doji right here. We'll see what it does. A lot of alts look like this. So you got Bitcoin. Let's look at these very short time frames. You got Bitcoin took its little hit. Hopefully it's turning around. Directional index is negative. Took a hit. You look at ETH. It took a hit too, along with Bitcoin. Its ADX and DI look about the same. Its RSI looks about the same. So you look at this alt here, Digital DAO. Let's see, we had a beautiful break above the 200 moving average. Things were looking positive. It was wonderful, but then of course it dumped with Bitcoin. But is it going to turn around also? I see a lot of alts that are doing well are looking exactly like this. So to me, the market here on Friday starts like this. We dumped, and Bitcoin, Ethereum, a lot of alts that are doing strong, dumped. It's all about, are we going to turn around now and move up or not? Indecisive. Long or die. I'm not feeling so confident that I would short, to be honest with you, at this point. And I think that if you look at the big players where the volume is on Binance, they are more trending towards long. 40% shorts, 59% longs. We'll see how the day plays out. If we see any real movement in the market, I'll do another video. I'm really curious how the Shanghai Composite's going to look when it opens, and we'll see how the global instability does continue to affect the rut in the Dow Jones. And let me know any other indicators you'd like me to look at, and I will throw them in if they seem to work. As always, obstacles can't stop you, weather can't stop you, heartbreak can't stop you, failure can't stop you, only you can stop you. Keep hammering. Bitcoin is about a lot more than a daily price action, but that's what we do cover here. I want to believe, well crap, I do believe, and I will see you again later today or tomorrow. Take care.